Welcome. Uh, I apologize for this morning and the fact that we weren't able to complete our big blue button experience together, but hopefully we'll get that fixed within the next few days. And when we get ready to do our next online session in 3 weeks, it will be available and we shouldn't have any trouble. I'm going to quickly go through the course overview one more time and then preview week 1 and 2 for you. If you have questions upon the completion of this, just send me an email or write out your questions in the frequently asked forum and I will respond to them. So let's go ahead and let's move forward. I am Emma Martin, and Trish Berg and Liz Chase will also be assisting with the implementation of this course. You have my phone number as well as my email address that you can access me as well as Trish. This is online. It's accelerated 8 weeks versus 10 weeks. And so that means we will all stay very busy in the next 8 weeks in order to complete the work required. Uh, if you have your syllabus, you should want to review that very carefully. It will give you a lot of the information that you'll need to complete the different activities for this class. There is a support button on the left-hand side of the Obiverse screen, and I encourage you to use this if you run into problems or have questions. This is set up on a weekly basis, so each week there is a section that has the resources and materials that you'll need to complete each of the activities. There is a page called Navigating Online Content. It has a similar organization as on this slide. It shows you the reading and resources, the vocabulary terms you'll be defining, and the other activities that you'll complete. So open it each week, check it first. And the important thing is it also has the due dates, and you'll want to know when those are. Course text and supplementary materials will be listed. I will make a textbook available with Melissa Finch at the front desk in Headco on the third floor, and you may check it out for a 3-hour period because I know that there are a few people who do not have a book yet and are waiting on one. These are the different types of activities. They're defined in your syllabus, so check through that carefully, and it will give you more information. Final project will be completed, and what I will do is about week 4, I will put up the details for the final project as well as a descriptor and explanation of the different components that will be involved in it. The nice part on the final project is that it is comprised of several of your assignments and then you add to it. So you're going to actually be doing different pieces of it as you complete the opportunities to practice over the next few weeks. Please read over the course policies. Review the student engagement table. It gives you an idea of the amount of time that will be spent on each aspect of the course. Email, please always make sure that you put something in the subject line because I am always hesitant to open up email if that subject line is blank. Also, I will usually not check email between Friday evening and Sunday afternoon, but typically Sunday evening I'll sit down around 5 and go through all my emails. So that's one of the times you can anticipate that I may not be available to answer emails this over the weekend. Virtual office hours are from 10 to 11 on Tuesdays, And you're also welcome to set up office, visit me on campus by appointment. Just send me an email with 2 or 3 times that you're available, and we'll come up with a time to meet. So let's talk real briefly about week 1 and week 2 and what you'll be completing. Week 1 is fairly simple. None of these activities will be graded. You just receive participation points. Many of you have already written up an introduction on the Getting Acquainted forum. Thank you very much. I look forward to reading those. Assessing your online readiness skills is just that. It gives me a little bit of information about how familiar you are with completing online activities. Welcome to my classroom gives me information related to what kind of aspirations you have as a teacher. What kind of classroom you'd like to teach, the population that you'd like to work with. If you're doing uh, planning on being a support person rather than a teacher. So, for example, school psychologist, one person wrote and shared that that's what she would like to do in the future, or you might want to be a speech therapist. Write your response reflective of that position. Rather than because you wouldn't have a classroom, you'd still be working with individuals. So, what kind of relationship would you want to have with those individuals you're working with? Why do you think it would be important to know about classroom management and classroom environments? And how would you use that information in the future? It's, contextualize the questions so that they're relevant to you. Okay, there's a brief overview of these activities that you'll be finishing week 1. Um, I don't anticipate anyone having any real difficulty with them. And as I said, it's just an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. So it's it should go fairly smoothly. Okay, week 2 is where we're going to get into understanding more about behavior. And this will be a challenging uh, week for you in that there is a lot of content to cover that is very important to building the foundation for the remainder of the term. Activity 1 has the reading and resources. All students are to read Martella, chapters 1 and 2. And early intervention, you have an additional text, Dunlap, and I'd like you to read chapters 1, 2, and 3. Uh, the early intervention students, please be aware that the additional book that you'll be using for this class will be used in other coursework as well. So I think you'll find it useful and provide you with a little more, content around the subject area. You're going to also complete an interactive tutorial, and this is a very good tutorial that will provide you with a lot of relevant information related to the vocabulary activity you'll be completing. Uh, and this is one that will take a couple hours to complete. You may want to go back and review different parts of it before you do the check for understanding or the final quiz for week 2. Now, activity 2 is the one that will probably take you the most time this first time through. You're going to be developing a glossary of terms, and these are all relevant terms to behavior management. In this first or week 2, you have quite a few terms that you're going to be defining. As we go through the course, what you'll find is each week you'll have less and less terms to define. Okay, on task 1, you're going to give a definition for the word. Please try to state it in your own words rather than copying it from the text. And please reference the materials or where you got what resource you used for that definition. The text is a good place to go. So, I have no problem with you using the text to find your definitions. You can also go online Many of these terms you can Google and they will give you definitions as well as examples. Task 2 is the challenging one for you, in that not only do I want you to define the word, I also want you to develop an example or apply it, the definition, to a real life situation. So let's look at an example here. This is term was three-term contingency, and the definition is antecedent behavior consequence. Three terms, those three terms make up this contingency. And then if you look down here, the example is A, told to turn off the TV. That was your antecedent. B was yelling and tantruming. That was your behavior. TV removed for the rest of the night was the consequence. Okay, so this is a very simple, direct way of doing this. And what I'm going to do is each week I'll go in and check your vocabulary, terms, and examples, and give you some feedback on how you're doing. I will probably also pull out one or two exemplar uh, terms, and I will post those in the class-wide glossary so you can see how others are doing this as well. Check for understanding is the final task that you'll do in week 2, and this is it's in a quiz format, but please understand that this is not a true false multiple choice test. This is open-ended. You're going to be provided with scenarios, and you will need to apply the information that you've learned and respond to the questions. You are welcome to use your book, use notes from the tutorial that you completed, your glossary of terms, anything that will help you in completing this check for understanding. Take your time, think through your responses before writing them. And as I said, I gave you approximately 2 hours to complete this. I believe there are 11 items on this, but each one has multiple responses to it. Okay, that is it. Those are the things that you're going to be completing over the next 2 weeks. Again, if you have questions, let us know, and we will do our best to respond to those questions for you. If we can, if you get a good foundation of the terminology and an understanding of behavior here in week 2, I think you're going to find week 3, when we go into measurement, to be much more understandable and easy to apply that information. So go ahead, get started on week 1 and week 2. Have a safe 4th of July weekend, and I will see you the following week. Goodbye.